I never thought my life would turn into one of those courtroom dramas you see on TV, where family ties twist into knots of betrayal and redemption. My name is Madison Hayes, and at 34, I've spent most of my days as a paralegal in a small firm in San Francisco, helping folks navigate the messy world of estate law. It's ironic, really, untangling strangers' inheritances while my own family plotted to rip mine apart. Growing up on the wild Northern California coast, in a cozy craftsman-style beach house near Mendocino, I was the kid everyone forgot about. My parents, always chasing the next big dream, tech apps that flopped, organic farms that went bankrupt, left me with my grandparents when I was 9. "Just till we get this vineyard deal off the ground in Napa," Mom had said, hugging me quick before speeding off in their beat-up Jeep. That just till became my whole world. Grandma Ellen and Grandpa Jim were my anchors in that stormy sea of neglect. The house, with its weathered redwood siding and wraparound deck facing the Pacific, wasn't fancy, but it was solid, like them. Mornings, Grandma would wake me for walks along the foggy beach, teaching me to spot tide pools teeming with life. "See how those anemones cling tight, but bend with the waves. Maddie," she'd say, her voice warm as the rising sun pierced the mist. "That's resilience, hold on." But no one to give. Grandpa, a retired fisherman, showed me patience on our hikes through the redwood groves behind the property. "Life's like casting a line," he'd grunt, adjusting his faded cap. "Rush it, and you scare everything away." They sent me to local schools, cheered at my debate meets, and turned that house into a haven where I felt wanted, not discarded. My older sister, Serena, 8 years my senior, chose the glamour of LA lights over our quiet coast. She bolted at 16, tailing our parents' endless schemes, modeling gigs that fizzled, startup investments that tanked. By her mid-20s, she'd married a Hollywood producer, divorced him for a bigger fish, and was now unraveling her third union to some venture capitalist. Our parents? They patched their marriage with duct tape and denial, blowing through loans and credit like wildfire through dry grass. Holidays brought them back briefly, arms loaded with flashy gifts, designer bags for Serena, tech gadgets for me, but their visits always ended in arguments about money. "We could have had it all if Dad hadn't gambled on that app," Mom would whisper, eyes darting. I learned early that their love was conditional, tied to the next payout. Inside me, though, a storm brewed. Why did they abandon me? Was I not enough? Those questions gnawed at nights. Staring at the ceiling beams Grandpa had reinforced himself. But I pushed them down, focusing on the stability my grandparents offered. Law wasn't my passion, but it was practical. California's estate codes, trusts, probate rules. I saved every penny, invested in index funds Grandpa recommended. Build your castle brick by brick. Maddie, he'd advise over coffee on the deck, watching seals bask on rocks below. Family's blood, but blood can run thin. I thought he was jaded from his own sibling squabbles back in the day. Now, I know he was arming me. When Grandma passed from a heart condition 3 years ago, and Grandpa followed from pneumonia 6 months later, the grief hit like a rogue wave. They'd left the house to me, not split. Not to my parents, in a will as airtight as California law allows. But whispers started, Serena texting about fair shares, Mom calling about their temporary cash flow issues. The property, valued at over $1.5 million with its ocean views and acres of protected land, wasn't just bricks, it was my soul's refuge. Every creak in the floorboards echoed memories, Grandma's laughter in the kitchen baking sourdough, Grandpa's stories by the stone fireplace. I couldn't let it go. Deep down, doubt crept in. Was I being selfish? They were family. After all.
Blood.
But Grandpa's words echoed. Protect what's yours. Or regret what's lost. 2 years before they died. Sensing his frailty,
Ide consulta a collega on trusts.
we set up an irrevocable living trust, me as beneficiary, Grandpa as grantor, with medical affidavits proving his sound mind. In California, it's bulletproof against contests if done right. No probate drama. No easy challenges. I hoped it'd never matter. Hope, as Grandma said, is a fragile shell, beautiful, but cracks under pressure. The house whispered their lessons daily. In the garden, where we planted heirloom tomatoes, I felt Grandma's hand on mine. Nurture what matters. Maddie. Greed poisons the soil. At dusk, on the deck, Grandpa's voice in the wind. Measure your moves, life's no bluff.
My family saw dollar signs. I saw roots.
When Serena's latest divorce hit, wiping her savings, and my parents' ecotourism flop left them dodging creditors, the vultures descended. Texts piled up. We need to talk about the house.
Inside.
Conflict raged. Pity for their mess. Rage at their entitlement. Why me? Why always take from the one who built herself up? The family meeting came uninvited, 3 weeks post-divorce. They rolled up in a rented SUV, parents first. Serena a day later, feigning concern. From the kitchen window, overlooking crashing waves, I watched Serena step out, Botox smooth face hiding exhaustion, in yoga pants that screamed LA chic. Mom hugged me tight. This place is a gem. Honey, you've kept it so quaint. Dad eyed the view. Prime real estate, views like Big Sur, but closer to the city. They lounged in the living room, amid Grandpa's nautical maps and Grandma's quilts. Serena snapped pics. For memories, she said, but I knew, appraisal vibes. It must be lonely here alone, Serena probed, sipping herbal tea from Grandma's mugs. Taxes eating you up on your salary? Mom chimed. You're in your 30s, should be free. Not chained to upkeep. Dad nodded. Market's hot. Sell. Invest smart. We know opportunities. Buy a condo in SF. The pitch landed soft. But I felt the hook. I'm not selling, I said flat. Tension thickened like coastal fog. We're family, Mom pleaded. Your grandparents would have wanted us to help each other. They left it to me, I countered. Will's clear. Serena leaned in. Wills can be challenged undue influence. Maybe you were here, influencing decisions. Anger surged, but guilt twisted it. Were they right? Had I manipulated? No, Grandpa initiated the trust. But their words poked old wounds. The abandoned kid. Now the villain? Careful, I warned. That's slander. Dad paced. We're in deep, creditors breathing down our necks. The threat lingered. Help or else. Tears from Mom. How can you watch us suffer? Pain knifed me, love lingered. Warped.
I'm sorry, you whispered.
But this is my home. They left hurt. But I knew, round two loomed. Alone, waves crashing. I wrestled. Forgive? Share? No, the house was their gift. My shield. Grandpa's chess lessons. Defend your king. But no one mercy wins the game. Was mercy possible? Doubts stormed louder. Nights after they left, sleep evaded me like a slippery eel in the tide pools Grandma loved. I'd pace the creaky halls, fingers tracing the walls Grandpa had painted eggshell white, each stroke a silent vow of protection. Inside, the turmoil intensified. Pity for my family's desperation clashed with fury at their gall.
How dare they?
They ditched me as a kid. yet now claimed rights to my sanctuary. But beneath the rage, a whisper, they're broken. Maddie. Blood runs deep, even if tainted. I buried myself in work, reviewing California probate codes till my eyes blurred. The trust was ironclad, revocable only by Grandpa.
Who'd passed.
No loopholes for fraud claims without hard proof, and I had none against them yet. Still, anxiety gnawed. What if they forged something? Grandpa's warning echoed. Greed blinds, but preparation sees all. 2 days later, a knock shattered the quiet. A process server, young and awkward, handed me papers on the deck. Wind whipping pages like accusations. Summons for a state contest, he mumbled, avoiding my eyes. Heart pounding, I scanned. Serena and parents claiming undue influence, alleging Grandpa's dementia skewed the will toward me. Lies, his Parkinson's was mild, documented otherwise. But the filing cited family documents from years back, promising equal split. Forged? My gut screamed yes. Alone in the kitchen, surrounded by Grandma's spice jars, cinnamon for comfort, she'd say. I collapsed into a chair. Tears came hot. Why fight dirty? We're family. Guilt surged. Maybe sharing could have prevented this. No, the house was my lifeline. Their legacy to me. Conflict raged. Protect it, or bend for peace. I called my boss. A sharp estate attorney who'd mentored me. Send the docs, she said briskly. We'll counter with a trust, preempts the will entirely. In California, trusts bypass probate. It's a fortress. But as I emailed, doubt flooded. Would exposing their lies destroy us all? That night, staring at the Pacific's dark expanse from my bedroom window, memories assaulted. Grandma's voice. Forgiveness isn't weakness. Maddie, it's choosing light over shadow. But forgiveness for what? Abandonment? Greed? I journaled furiously, words spilling like waves. They left me, yet I ache for them. Am I the monster now? The next week blurred into paranoia. Strange cars slowed by the house. Was it creditors Dad owed? Serena texted once. We can settle privately, share fair. I ignored it, but her words haunted. Fair? Where was fairness when I was 9? Alone with packed lunches from strangers? Elena filed our response, attaching trust docs and Grandpa's capacity evals. 2 docs. A psych. All swearing his mind sharp as a tack. This kills their case, she assured. But court loomed. A preliminary hearing in Ukiah's county courthouse. 2 hours south, through twisting redwood roads. Driving there, fog hugging the highway, my mind raced. Confront them, or seek truce. Love twisted with betrayal, blood's cruel joke. The courtroom was sterile, fluorescent lights buzzing like my nerves. Serena sat prim in a pantsuit, parents flanking her, faces etched with false victimhood. Their lawyer, a slick guy named Barrett from LA, argued undue influence. MS. Hayes isolated the grantor, manipulated the trust. Lies stung deeper than facts. Elena countered coolly. The trust predates any alleged influence, irrevocable.
Beneficiary sole.
California Civil Code 15400 seals it. Judge Ramirez, a no-nonsense woman with gray streaks, peered over glasses. Evidence of forgery on those family docs? Barrett hedged. Elena pounced with forensics we'd rushed, an ink analysis showing recent creation. Gasps, Serena's face crumpled. Inside, empathy clawed. She's hurting. Divorced.
Broke.
But rage countered. She chose this path. As testimony dragged, Dad took the stand, voice quavering. Jim promised equal shares. Letters prove it. Forged letters. Dated wrong. Elena shredded them. Metadata shows creation last month. Judge halted. This reeks of fraud. Dismissed with prejudice. Costs to plaintiffs. Victory? It tasted bitter. Outside, in the courthouse hall, Serena approached, eyes red. Maddie, we were desperate.
Dad's debts.
Dangerous people. Mom sobbed. We love you. Dad hung back.
Defeated.
Pain lanced me. Love? You abandoned me. But their brokenness mirrored mine, wounds unhealed. Driving home through lifting fog, regret swelled. Could I have offered Olive Branch sooner? The house waited, silent witness to my turmoil. That night, waves lulling, I pondered Grandma's lesson. Hearts mend slower than bones. But they do mend. Was redemption possible? Emotions crashed harder. Pity, anger, longing for what family could have been. Weeks passed in uneasy quiet. No appeals, Barrett advised against, citing criminal risks for forgery. But shadows lingered. Anonymous calls at night. Heavy breathing. Creditors? I installed cameras. Heart racing each alert. One evening, footage caught two guys scoping the fence. Hired muscle? Panic surged. They're escalating. Elena urged police report. Mendocino Sheriff's Deputy Lopez took it seriously. Will patrol. Inside. Fear mixed with sorrow. How low would they sink? Memories flooded. Serena as a teen. Braiding my hair before leaving. I'll come back rich. Squirt. She never did. Guilt whispered. Help them. Save them from themselves. Then, a breakthrough. Deputy Lopez called. Trace the prowlers to LA thugs. Your dad owed him big. Told him the house was his collateral. Betrayal deepened. But pity overwhelmed. Desperate fools. I confronted by a lawyer. Cease or face charges. Silence followed. But inside, the emotional weight crushed, heavier than before. Why couldn't they see the house as love? Not loot. Nights, I'd sit by the fireplace. Flames dancing like unresolved feelings, forgiveness tense. But justice demands. Grandpa's ghost. Stand firm. But leave room for grace. Conflict peaked. Blood's pull versus self-preservation. The storm inside raged fiercer, demanding resolution. Resolution didn't come easy. It clawed its way through layers of hurt, each revelation peeling back more raw emotion than the last. After the prowler bust, silence from my family stretched like the endless Pacific horizon. But it wasn't peace. It was the eye of the hurricane. Inside me, the tempest howled louder, waves of resentment crashing against shores of reluctant compassion. How could I hate them when their flaws mirrored fragments of my own abandoned heart? I threw myself into routines, morning jogs on the beach, where Grandma's spirit seemed to whisper in the sea spray, anger anchors you down. Maddie. Let go to sail free. But letting go felt like betrayal to the kid they left behind. Evenings, I'd pore over old letters in Grandpa's study. His handwriting steady. Family's a net, catches you, but can tangle too. Tangled we were, and the knots tightened my chest nightly. Then, the bomb dropped, a registered mail from Barrett. Inside, a confession affidavit from Dad, admitting the forgeries. Under duress from debts, it read, I fabricated docs to claim stake. Serena and Mom co-signed, pleading mitigation. Attached, a plea for mediation. No more courts, let's talk. Elena advised caution. Could be trap, but California encourages family settlements. My heart raced, not with fear, but a flood of conflicting tides. Hope flickered, drowned by distrust. Why now? Surrender or strategy? That night, alone on the deck under a canopy of stars, emotions surged unchecked. Tears for the parents who never parented. Sorrow for Serena's lost dreams. Self-pity for my isolation. Why couldn't you choose me? I whispered to the wind. The house creaked in response, as if Grandpa sighed. Choice is theirs. Strength is yours. We met at a neutral spot, a coffee shop in Fort Bragg. Waves audible through open windows. They arrived subdued, Serena sans makeup. Vulnerable, Mom's eyes puffy, Dad shrunken. Hands trembling. No lawyers, just us. Blood bared. Maddie, Dad started. Voice cracking. I screwed up. Told creditors lies about the house to buy time. Never meant for threats. Serena nodded. The divorce cleaned me out. I pushed the contest. Greed blinded me. Mom wept. We abandoned you. Thought we were chasing better for all. But we left you to Ellen and Jim's grace. Words hung heavy, stirring my core. Pain I'd buried erupted. You think sorry fixes decades? I was nine, waiting for you to come back. Silence fell, thick as fog.
Inside.
Turmoil peaked, forgive to heal, or hold grudge to protect. Serena broke it. We found old photos in storage, us as kids here.
Happy.
Made me see what we lost chasing illusions. Dad added, Jim warned me years ago, roots over riches. I ignored. Emotions cascaded. Their remorse felt genuine, cracking my armor.
But trust? Shattered.
Why forge? Why threaten? I demanded, voice quivering. Mom, fear, creditors are sharks. We panicked. Serena, I hired the scouts, stupid, scared. Admissions poured, each peeling my resentment. Yet compassion swelled. They're human, flawed as me. Grandpa's lesson burned. Mercy isn't weakness, it's the ultimate strength. As coffee cooled, I felt the shift, anger yielding to empathy's ache. We talked hours, unearthing buried hurts. My abandonment scars, their regrets over failed dreams. We envied your stability, Serena confessed. Wanted to drag you into our chaos. Dad, Jim cut us off financially long ago, knew we'd burn it. Mom, but he left you the house to break the cycle. Revelations hit like breakers. They weren't villains, just lost souls.
Inside.
Sorrow deepened, heavier, more profound for wasted years. I can't erase the past, I said, tears flowing. But maybe we start mending.
No hugs.
But nods, tentative bridges over chasms. Post-meeting. Emotions overwhelmed like a king tide. Driving home through redwoods.
I pulled over.
Sobbing, relief mixed with grief for what could have been. The house welcomed me. Its warmth a balm. That night. Journaling by firelight. Forgiveness scares me, opens wounds. But holding hate poisons deeper. Deputy Lopez updated. No more threats. Creditors backed off after Dad's cooperation with DA. Charges loomed light. Probation possible if they testified. Mercy from the system? It mirrored my internal plea. Weeks later, a package arrived. Grandma's recipe book from Mom. With note. She taught me to, before I forgot. Serena sent a check. Partial restitution from her assets. Not enough. But start. Dad called supervised. Taking classes in prison prep, financial literacy. Jim would have laughed. Laughter through tears, emotions raw. Piercing soul deep.
Inside.
Conflict evolved, not revenge. But redemption's pull. Grandpa's voice. Family's not perfect, it's persistent. The storm within raged with hope's intensity. Demanding I choose light. As fog lifted one dawn, I invited them back not for claims, but conversation. They came hesitant, stepping into the house like prodigals. We walked the beach. Sharing stories, grandma's yoga, grandpa's fishtails. Laughter cracked tension, tears sealed bonds. We don't deserve this, Serena whispered. No one does, I replied. But we earn it now. Emotions crested, profound love reborn from ashes, heavier than any grudge. With bonds tentatively rebuilt, the emotional weight pressed heavier. Each interaction a mirror to our fractured past and fragile future. Mornings now held calls from Mom. Voice tentative, how's the garden?
Eller nešto med oss receiving.
Simple words. But they unearthed buried longings for the mother I never had. Inside, joy warred with caution. Trust them fully? Or guard my heart like the trust guarded the house? Serena visited weekends, helping weed the yard, her manicured hands in dirt, a metaphor for humility. I chased Hollywood lights, she confessed one afternoon, salt air tingling her hair. Ignored the real glow, family. Her vulnerability cracked me open, tears for her losses mingled with mine. I envied you, I admitted. Stable. Loved. She hugged me. You earned it, we squandered. Hugs healed, but stirred deeper aches. Years stolen. Irreplaceable. Dad's probation hearing loomed, amplifying the turmoil. He pled guilty to minor fraud, California DA lenient with cooperation. Community service. Restitution, the judge ruled. Post-court. He stood outside, eyes misty. Jim prepared you better than us. We drove north together. Silence heavy with unspoken regrets. At the house, he touched the deck rail. Built this with him, solid as his advice. Memories flooded. Him leaving me here as a kid. Why go? I asked. Voice breaking. Thought success would fix us. Made it worse. His honesty gutted me, sorrow for his delusions, empathy for the dreamer trapped. Emotions swelled tsunami-like. Forgiveness wasn't easy. It demanded confronting pain head-on. Evenings deepened the intensity. We'd sit by the fire, sharing truths. Mom confessed, we were young, scared, abandoned our own parents' lessons. Serena, divorces taught me, money's cold comfort. I shared my isolation, felt worthless, left behind. Admissions bonded us, but each peeled scabs, bleeding fresh hurt. Inside, the weight crushed, love's revival hurt more than hate's numbness. Grandpa's wisdom haunted. Healing's a storm, ride it to calm. One night, a breakthrough. Dad returned stolen items from storage. Grandpa's tackle box, Grandma's quilts. Took him over years, shameful. Restitution physical, emotional. I sobbed holding the quilt. This was her hug. Family encircled me. Tears collective. Cathartic. But setbacks tested. Creditors called once, settled quickly. But fear resurfaced. What if they relapse? Serena's ex-drama spilled. He wants more assets. I advised legally. Heart aching for her. Lean on us, I urged. Her gratitude deepened bonds, but intensified my internal gale. Protector now, not victim. Therapy helped, sessions in Ukiah. Unpacking layers. You're grieving the family that wasn't, the counselor said. Allow the one that could be. Sessions unleashed floods, rage at abandonment, guilt for defenses, hope's terrifying vulnerability, emotions heavier, soul-stirring, love's risk scarier than solitude. A pivotal weekend. We scattered ashes, grandpa's at sea. Per his wish. Boat rocking on swells. I held the urn. You taught protection, with room for grace. Family joined. Hands linked. Dad, sorry. Jim, for failing. Mom, thank you for raising her right. Serena, we'll honor you now. Ashes danced on wind. tears on cheeks. The act sealed redemption, profound, piercing. Back home, we planted a redwood sapling in the yard. New roots, I said. Laughter amid sobs, emotions crested, overwhelming in their depth. As months passed, integration deepened pain's beauty. Serena moved nearby. Starting therapy, Mom volunteered at shelters. Dad worked odd jobs. Repaying. Holidays healed, Thanksgiving feasts in the kitchen. Stories shared. But each joy unearthed shadows. What if it breaks again? Trust built slow, like coastal cliffs eroding to beauty. Inside, the storm evolved less rage, more tender ache for unity's fragility. Grandma's echo, hearts expand with hurt, then heal wider. The weight bore down, soul deep, demanding I embrace it all. One dawn, watching sunrise paint the ocean gold, clarity hit. Redemption wasn't erasing past, it was weaving it into stronger fabric. Family gathered on the deck, silent companionship. Emotions raw, profound, love's triumph over loss. Heavier than any inheritance. In the weave of our mended fabric, emotions reached their zenith, raw, all-consuming, a symphony of sorrow,
Joy.
and hard-won peace that shook me to my core. Holidays amplified it. Christmas, the house aglow with Grandma's ornaments. Family around the tree. Dad carved turkey clumsily, Serena strung lights, Mom baked pies from the recipe book.
Laukaterrang.
But tears lurked, memories of empty chairs past. We missed so much, Mom whispered, hugging me. Her warmth unlocked floods, grief for lost years, ecstasy in presence.
Inside.
The intensity burned, love's return hurt exquisitely, vulnerability a blade to the heart. Worth it, I thought. Chest aching. Grandpa's spirit nodded. True bonds forge in fire. Setbacks tested depths. Serena relapsed briefly, eyeing a shady investment. Old habits, she admitted. Eyes down. Confrontation tore me. Don't drag us back. Her tears mirrored mine. We talked till dawn, unearthing fears. I fear failing you again, she sobbed. Empathy overwhelmed, her pain my pain, amplified. Therapy sessions intensified. Your co-healing, counselor noted. Sessions dredged abysses. My abandonment terror. Their guilt's prison. Emotions cascaded, torrents of regret, waves of hope, tsunamis of affection. Heavier than ever, they demanded surrender, let go control, embrace mess. A milestone, Dad's restitution complete. He proposed a family trust for future generations, lessons embedded. No more greed cycles, he said, voice thick. Signing in the study, amid Grandpa's books. Solemnity gripped. Jim would have approved, I choked. Hands clasped, silent vows. The act stirred profound stirrings, redemption's weight. Soul-crushing yet uplifting. Nights.
Y de banderas.
Waves mirroring turmoil. We've come far, but scars remain. Stars above witnessed my whispers. Gratitude laced with ache. Spring brought renewal. Serena's new job in ecotourism, ironic. Healing. Mom gardened with me. Hands in soil. Ellen's spirit here. Dad fished.
Tichin me agneau. Patience pays.
Interactions deepened bonds. Each revealing layers, vulnerabilities shared. Strengths celebrated. But joys flip. Fear of loss amplified emotions to breaking. One evening, storm raging outside. We huddled by fire. Stories turned confessions. I regret leaving you, Dad broke. Thought money equaled love. Mom, we failed as parents. Serena, jealous of your roots. I felt unlovable. Catharsis erupted, sobs collective, embraces fierce. Pain's pinnacle, love reborn from ashes. Heavier than oceans. The lesson crystallized light. Amid heaviness, family isn't blood alone. It's choices daily. Forgiveness earned. Bonds nurtured. No grand epiphanies. Just quiet truths. We planted more, flowers for Grandma. A bench for Grandpa. Inscriptions. Roots run deep. Gatherings became rituals. Beach walks. Honest talks. Emotions, once stormy, settled to deep currents, profound, enduring. One sunset. On the deck. Family silent beside me. Peace enveloped. Waves eternal. House steadfast.
Inside.
The weight transformed, not burden, but treasure. Weed weathered, emerged stronger. The house wasn't just mine, it was ours. A beacon of redemption. As stars emerged, I felt their presence, Grandma. Grandpa, smiling. Lesson light. In forgiveness. We find our truest home.